Hello chaps, we're a bit late releasing episode 7 this week, but you'll see why. Welcome to another What's on Court. Right, Monday morning, and we've been at it for hours already this morning. It's 8:30 and we've been up and collected the Outlander from the spray shop and dropped it down to the garage. It's looking pretty bloody good. And now it's just having the MOT failure rectified, so that will all be up and running and fine for later on, and then we're going to take it to Mitsubishi tomorrow. What's happening today? New week. We're just going to chat about stuff, I think, this morning. I've got to go and watch my son play his first ever game of rugby this afternoon in Plymouth. So that'll be interesting. So I'm going to have a bit of an afternoon off. So it's going to be a bit of a slow start to the week, a bit of preparation morning, and get ready for all hell to break loose tomorrow. So anyway, we'll start the planning stage first, and then we'll go and have a spot of ruggers this afternoon, I think. Laters. Right, all hands on deck. Inquiry and test drive inbound. So we've got Lauren just called up. She's a little bit flustered. She hasn't got a car. She's driving around trying to find one, and she wants to come and see the Nissan Qashqai. All tucked away in there, ready to go, all MOT'd, all serviced, not a bean wrong with her. So I've just got to get out of here into the upper forecourt. I've just moved the over on the other side, so literally like a cold spring here. Got all the paperwork ready, and let's welcome Lauren. Come and see this lovely car, and let me sort all your problems out, and sell you a lovely car. Anyway, let's see how it all goes. Well, that all went rather swimmingly. She's going to come back with her husband and test drive it. Didn't test drive it today. So she loves the car, and she's going to bring her husband back. Probably not today. And she's going to test drive it with her hubby. So fingers crossed for that one. That'd be great. We can sell that this week. Right, I've got to get myself ready for a rugby match, which kicks off in Plymouth at 3:45. So I better get my skates on. Laters. Well, good morning. It's Tuesday and the sun is shining, which is fantastic. But the rugby match went exceptionally well. Torquay boys thrashed Plymouth College, which is fantastic news. But anyway, we've got the Outlander back, all being sprayed down the side and the back and the other side. It all looks absolutely perfect. It's also just come out from having all the MOT advisories rectified. So I've got to be a bit careful on this one, because the costs are starting to mount up. Hopefully you don't have to do any more work to this now. So apart from it's going into Mitsubishi to go and have the battery looked at. But that's about 130 quid. Hopefully. But now we are about to go and get the keys for the new office. It's Tuesday, 11:30 is the hour to go and pick up the new keys. The furniture's arriving on the 9th, so we won't really be able to get set up there, but at least we can start getting some cars over, perhaps, start just getting familiar with the area, introducing ourselves to our neighbours and our co-workers in the other offices, have a little drink or two, a nibble perhaps, but anyway, invite ourselves, make ourselves known, and introduce ourselves and what we do. So there's loads of people there, so maybe we can drum up some business. Anyway, ladies. Good morning, everyone. It's rather early on Wednesday. We've got the Land Rover passed its MOT with flying colours, no advisories either, which is brilliant. And we've got Claire coming to test drive it at 9:30 this morning. So I've got to clear the upper forecourt. The Nissan needs to go down next to the Tucson and the Mazda down there. Basically clear this area, make it look beautiful and presentable. And Michelle's bringing the Land Rover back from Totnes. She picked it up last night. And it's God knows what stage it's going to be in now. But anyway, she's bringing it down. She's going to come around that corner any minute now. Park it up right there. So I need to move that. Keep that there. And get ready for Claire at 9 bells. So I best get going. So I'm actually going to just set up the jet wash. And a bucket of something just for when Michelle gets here. I know Nigel has given it a massive once over, well, thorough clean. But it just needs a little tickle around the undersides, I think, just to make it look nice. Only takes 2 minutes, so first impressions count, I think. So just get it. Oh, maybe I'll leave the bin there. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Yeah, first impressions. There she is. Right, so I've given that a good old clean over, all ready to go. So Claire is bringing a Tiguan, which has done 140 something thousand miles. So I put it through auto data. Part exchange price is coming up at 1,500 quid. I then had a look at its advisor, its MOT history and everything, and it's got a list as long as your arm from advisories on the last MOT. Corrosion everywhere, its tyres on the edge of their limits, so I doubt any of this sort of stuff's been done, or very little. But so I got AI to help me to sort of work out how much it was going to cost to rectify them all, based on 50 quid an hour. That's what we pay in the garage, and it said about 1,500 quid. Now, I've used AI for this before on the Outlander, and it was pretty bloody accurate. So, and I'll walk you through that in a minute. But anyway, 1,500 quid's worth of work. Mind you, they don't all have to be done. It's a 147,000 mile car, and it's a 1,500 quid car, Part X. I think I might just tell her to take it down to We Buy Any Car, unless she just wants to get rid of it for a couple hundred quid, because I'm not discounting this car, because I've literally got 4 or 5 people queuing at the door to buy it. So it's not going to be much, or it's going to be a We Buy Any Car buy. There you go. That is sold. Claire bought the Discovery, which is fantastic. What a result. It's absolutely brilliant. So that is, she bought her Tiguan down. I had a look at it and I said I would give her £250 for it. And she wanted a lot more. She wanted about £1,000. And we settled at £250. So I didn't really budge on that. One thing I did budge on was I was going to get, there's a scratch here. Don't know if you can see it. There we go. And I was going to get that resprayed. Basically, this door resprayed and blended into that door. And that, I had a quote for that. It was about 300 quid. There's some other little marks that I was going to get done as well. And I said that I will leave them there and knock off £200. And she was happy with that. So I don't have to get the, or if she wasn't happy with that, then I'd have got it all done. But it was on the list to get done. But she's happy not to have it done. And we'd knocked off 200 quid. So I've got the Tiguan for 250, knock that off. and knocked 200 quid off there. So happy days! What a fantastic little deal! And I've got another little little family car to add to the book. So what a wonderful morning! So I'm going to go and pick up the Outlander, which is at Livery Dull in Exeter, and that's just had its battery sorted out. So go and find out what the skinny is with that. Later. So we're back from Livery Dull, who are the Mitsubishi specialists in Exeter. So they did the test on the battery. It was 66%. And then they drained it and they tested it again this morning, and it was 70.7% of full capacity. So they said they would replace the battery if it was below 70%. 70.7%. I was a little bit annoyed, but anyway, so they're not going to replace the battery. So we're going to soldier on and get this up for sale. Nigel Mansell is coming to clean this tomorrow, and it's an absolute state. Look at it. I mean, I don't know what the guys in the spray shop were doing, but look at this. Absolutely filthy. God, I'm glad I didn't have it valeted before, because it's absolutely disgusting. Mind you, all this was on beforehand, but it's just revolting. So I guess this is a bit of a before shot, before Nigel Mansell comes along tomorrow. I mean, look at it, it's just absolutely disgusting. Anyway, that's the before shot. Lovely Discovery sold today, beautiful, and paintwork's all done, so that's looking fantastic on the outside. Just got to get the inside done, and away we go. Evening, chaps. It's Wednesday evening, and I'm cooking up a bit of a storm in the kitchen this evening. Wednesday night, kids are over, so we've got a roast chicken and a beautiful gravy, some carrots, some caramelised leeks, and a mashed potato. And the kids are currently next door, I think, watching Halloween this evening. But anyway, hope you chaps are having a lovely evening too. Right, morning chaps. It's Thursday morning and Nigel Mansell's inbound. So I've got cars to shuffle around here, and I'm stuffing cars up the road there. So I'm going to get those down to the lower forecourt and just make some space for him. But he's on his way, so I need to get my skates on. Right, hello chaps. Well, I thought I would run you through that whole advisories AI scenario. Now, the Outlander went in for the MOT and failed and had some advisories on it. So I wanted to get an idea of how much it was going to cost, because I haven't a clue how much this stuff costs. So I went into ChatGPT and I will show you what happened, and you'll be amazed how accurate this is. Okay, so I got the failure and the advisories for the Outlander, and I opened up ChatGPT and I asked it this. So I said, I want you to become the world's best mechanic. I've got a 2017 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, and the car recently failed its MOT, along with some advisories, which are as follows. Can you give me an estimate for these to be rectified, please, based on a labour rate of £50 per hour and parts to be at trade price, as I will supply the parts to the garage myself. It's by far the cheapest way. If you can set up an account to get the parts delivered to you and then put them on the back seat and have that arrangement with the garage, then that's pretty golden if you can do that. Anyway, so, and then it lists what was wrong, the brake pads were thin, blah, 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 blah. So then it spits out the following. And it itemizes everything, the estimated labour time, the parts, trade, and what have you. So it did all this for everything that was needed to have the MOT pass without any advisories, and it came down to a total estimate of parts and labour of 310 to 445. Now I just so happen to have the final bill to have all of that rectified from the garage, with having supplied my own parts and what have you, and the grand total I paid was £399. So that estimate of 310 to 445 was pretty accurate. It was slap bang in the middle, thereabouts. So yeah, I will be doing this in future to get an understanding of what I'm in for if I buy a car that's had a recent MOT, or has had an MOT and has had advisories noted on it or anything like that. So it's a really good way. Now I can use AI to pull all the to work out all these advisory costs for, if I'm looking at 10 or so different cars. But I'm going to do a separate weekly video of literally starting from scratch, choosing cars, what cars to buy and how to choose, which car's the best one for you, through spreadsheets and data and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do a weekly video on that. I'm not going to bore you with that now. Just tune into that. You'll get notified if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and you'll get notified. So so it's pretty accurate, and yeah, it helps me a lot, because I don't know, I'm not mechanically minded as such, and trying to understand how much these things cost with different cars is it can be a bit overwhelming at times. So it's nice to have a bit of help. So we were having a think the other day about how we can do things a little bit different. One of the ideas potentially was to do give each car a name. Now, probably a female name. So we've got the red Mazda. I don't know what that would be. Annabelle, Bella, Discovery, probably something naughty. Not a naughty name, but I get myself into awful lots of trouble here. And then we've got the Tucson. But we thought, well, if we're going to advertise a car and go, this is another Discovery Sport, blah, 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 why don't we give it a name? Say, meet Annabelle, our just lovely Discovery Sport, blah, 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 blah. Annabelle comes with this, comes with that, and just makes it maybe a little bit more personal. Maybe it's a completely rubbish idea, but what do you think? So we've got the Mazda there, I'm in the lower forecourt at the moment, Mazda, the Discovery, and the Tucson. So if you had to give them names, what would you give them? And is the name thing really silly? Or is it a nice way to sort of do things a little bit differently? Don't know. Let me know. Hello. It's Friday, end of the week. Oh, I forgot to close the door. Friday, end of the week, and I'm going to go and do something a bit silly. Now, I've been stuck in all day, and I'm a bit bored, and I've got to go and pick Ted up from school, but I thought I'd leave a little earlier because I'm going to have a bit of fun with this. Now, the RAV4, I've had one of these in the past, and they're brilliant cars. 4x4, little thing, but 2-litre engine, utter brutes. And there's a green lane over there which connects to the main road. I've never been down it before in my life. I haven't even walked it. My children's life, I've never been there. So I'm going to give it a whirl. That's what I do when I'm bored. Sometimes I just go and have a bit of fun, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm shitting myself slightly because I don't really know what to expect. But God, we've got to do these things, you know. When you live in the countryside and you have cars like this, and you have lanes that are just saying, "Come on, give it a go." I think we need to do them. So I'm going to go and do the school run, and I'm going to go off-roading on the way. I'll show you how it goes. I'm totally unprepared. I've got the gamekeeper's number just in case I get into a bit of a pickle, but let's see how it goes. Right, out of the drive, and a short hop, and then we're on the lane. Come on! Well, that was the worst of it so far. It's wonderful living in the countryside and having little cars like this. It doesn't matter if you've got any scrapes or anything like that down the side. Who cares? It's just for a bit of fun. Damage on the left wing. Now this is what you do if you're sitting at home and you're bored. Get out and go and have some fun. Oh. And you know what? There's always a risk of it always going tits up. And you know, if it goes tits up, what the hell? It's about getting out there and trying it, isn't it? So I've contemplated doing this for such a long time, but I've never been down here. And oh no! Right, Well, I came out of that one pretty unscathed, to be honest. We've got a bit of damage. Nothing we can't sort out. Other than that, it's a good old test for the RAV. Nothing wrong at the exhaust still absolutely fine. What fun. Right, better go and pick Ted up. Oh, hang on. Oh, I've bit of a bumper damage there, or something. Something's come off. The trim's come off. Hey. What a great little car. Right, school run, all done, ticked off, successful. And I nipped home and grabbed the Land Rover and whipped it into the garage to have this solenoid fitted, ready for Claire to come and pick up. So she's going to come and pick that up tomorrow, so I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee. But I was just having a think about these Land Rovers, you know, because I had about 7 people call up wanting to view this car and buy it. Now, the data on Auto Trader suggests that this car is hot, and it's certainly proving that way. So, God, I mean, I know the first one was an absolute nightmare. This one's been an absolute breeze so far, and it's not too bad. Very little spending on it. Just needed a good clean, service, MOT, that sort of usual stuff. So, do I just go and buy a load more of these? Do I? I mean, I could. I don't see any problem with that. I know they have their issues, and I know they're expensive when things go wrong. But if we can ensure that the margin is significant enough to cater for those things. I mean, let's say I bought 4 or 5 of them, and 2 of them needed major works doing. I think that could be. I think that could be quite good. But we'll see. Tell me what you think. I mean, let's say there was a good after all costs were accounted for, let's say there was a good clean 3,000 quid in each car plus. If you knew that the product was hot, would you buy these? It's very tempting, isn't it? But Michelle's bollocks I think are a lot bigger than mine at the moment, because she bought this one knowing full well what happened to the last one. But I'm prepared to give it a go, perhaps. Anyway, I'd like your opinions. You've all said stay away from them, but to be honest, there's always someone that's going to tell you to stay away from any kind of car. Bit of a quandary, so I'll think about that over a nice cup of coffee. Laters. Morning, everyone. It's Saturday, and normally I'd be editing this video, but I'm getting the paperwork sorted out for the Discovery that's being delivered today. We're actually going to go and deliver that to up in Yeovil later on this evening. But yes, last week I showed you that little spreadsheet with the VAT while I was showing separating all the VAT. But I've gone a little further, and it's an absolute perler. And you'll like this. Watch this. Right, so you may have remembered this sheet from last week, but this is my little initial sheet where I put all my costs in and works out all the VAT in and customer details, all that sort of vehicle details. So this is what I've done. So if I go up here to the reg, I've got an API webhook in this. So if I just type in the reg of this Discovery, which is YD 16UFC, and I press, see it's currently on the Hyundai, and if I press enter, it will pull in all the details of the Discovery. So I've got all the car info here that I need. Date purchased, date sold, where I got it from, the MOT expiry, the miles at the end of the sale. I put that in manually. The costs that I've spent on this car, the Land Rover. And the customer details here shows me my net profit and what have you. But what the lovely thing is I then go over into invoice, and it's populated the whole invoice for me with the customer details, with that Land Rover, with the mileage. I put these in separately from having when they paid a deposit, and I discounted that scratch. You remember? She's actually deciding to keep the VW, so which is absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. And then so it automatically populates that, and then it automatically populates an inspection form that I created. Look at that! Isn't that cool? Yeah, customer's name. So you don't have to keep putting in all the details over and over and over again per form. And this is just an inspection form that I created. So I'll go through and tick the stuff. There's a more detailed inspection form, proper PDI check on the service that we had done on the car. But this is just our initial in-house one, which is a little bit more simple. Spare key, yes, and all that sort of stuff. So, and then we'll go and mark any defects on the car, and the customer signs it, and away we go. I'm working on another one which will have all the warranty. If I want to self-warranty this car, there'll be another one with warranty, and again it'll populate everything. So I think that's pretty cool. Saves a lot of time, and all I do is I send this invoice off to do a PDF form, and then whap it into Xero, and then the accountant sorts it all out. So, but no, nice and simple. I don't have to keep typing in the same information over and over again. Let me know what you think of this. If you want a copy of this, or would like to see it doing something else, or in addition to this, maybe, I don't know, let me know. I might be releasing this out into the open world once it's finalised and complete. But let me know if you find this sort of thing useful or not. Anyway, laters. Right, I'm in the lower forecourt and just shuffling cars around just to get the Discovery ready for handover. Put the RAV there. See war wounds from yesterday. I might go and find another lane to take it down soon. But right, the Discovery, let's get that all prepped. Well, it's pretty much there already, to be honest. Paperwork's all done, dusted, quick and easy, lovely. And final little polishes and touch-ups and the flowers and the wine. And we'll go and get that delivered. Things have gone a bit pear-shaped Saturday afternoon, and I actually find myself up in Peterborough whilst doing the Discovery, getting that all ready. My sister called and said my old man was being is in hospital and really not in a very good state. So I've come all the way up to Peterborough to be with the family and hope the old bugger pulls through. So yeah, tender hooks. But I'm up here now, so I'm going to go and see the family. But I hope you enjoy this video this week. See you next week. Bye.